So you're going to buckle up your shoes. We're going to walk over there and you're going to do your intro, okay? You're going to look interested. I don't want you to stand there huffing and puffing like George at Rolex. We've talked to George about Rolex. It was a disaster. We're a professional operation. And I believe in you. I believe that there's a man in there. Well, let's go to work. Okay, good. Are we in? Okay, great. Cartier, a brand that occupies...
Jewelry brand, is it?
If you look around, we just talked about this. If you look around this space, you could be mistaken for thinking you're at a Cartier watch fair.
Yeah.
That's because they make most of the money. No, that's only part of the story, but it is also true.
Oh, right.
Cartier has been on a multi-year tear, whether that's watches like the Crash, yeah, whether it's auction prices, whether it's just that sense that the iconic word is actually appropriate, you know?
Was it iconic when they bought half of their stock that was just sitting around and they destroyed it, is it?
Yes, no, they destroyed the fake watches. Let's get some footage of that. No, this year was another critic's favorite. Now, the thing about Cartier is, look, I don't know where you sit, and I'd love to know in the comments, pretty much off the top, do you think Cartier deserves the hype it gets from the journalists, the critics? Because when canvassed, I would say, arguably, one of the watches at the fair was the Cartier Tank Normal Privé in platinum.
Right.
Now, this is a watch that's niche to the power of niche to the power of niche, divided by niche, minus niche plus niche. It's niche, niche, niche. It's watch a niche. It is a very niche watch. However, I tended to agree that it was pretty special.
I feel like Cartier is one of those. There are some gorgeous things that Cartier do, both from the jewelry and from the watch side. It does strike me as one of those brands that you have to talk about, that watch journalists want to talk about, because it's the cool thing. It shows. It's a kind of. I feel Grand Tank has a similar thing, but I know nothing about what's being released, so I'm kind of excited to see what you're going to show us.
One thing I will say to you is, you've got to realise with Cartier is every brand at Watches and Wonders needs to bow down to them. And the reason is, these guys, they made Watches and Wonders. So this was SIHH, this was the Richemont event, and everyone else invaded it. So you think about things like the big boys that we've seen before, they haven't worked. This, for me, look at this. These guys are the best.
Yeah.
They're the biggest.
You'd almost say, George, is it fair to say, I'm asking you a question.
Yeah.
Cartier is to Richemont. So this is Richemont's fair, SIHH, that has now become Watches and Wonders. It's shifted from January to March, which I'm pleased about because January was just way too cold. But Cartier to Richemont is what Omega is to Swatch Group.
But it's also, SIHH was such a better event. Watches and Wonders, you love Watches and Wonders.
Event.
It just felt, it was a Richemont event.
Yeah.
And it was so much better than Basel. Basel was
better, it was classier. And Basel had the vibe.
No, I love
Cartier number 3 or number 2?
Yes,
watch ranking, and it's carrying on going up. So
so
big
honestly,
guys.
It is absolutely rocking. And look at this stand.
Yeah.
And it's not their only stand. They've got a stand across the road.
They've taken up this whole space.
So, but then you think about IWC, you think about Jaeger, you think about all the brands that are under the reach of
Piaget,
you know, they're all round here.
But it's like they're sort of moons orbiting the Cartier planet. But look, you're not here to hear about the politics and context and political
But every
landscape.
brand needs to thank Richemont for this event.
Yes.
This is the Wolf Axis Watchwinder by About Effing Time. It counts turns for you. It's bidirectional. It's unidirectional. It goes up to 1,200 turns a day. It sleeps, eats, and drinks like a human being. It's amazing. Buy it now. We love it. Bye.
The watches. Should we talk about the watches?
Let's do it.
Okay, cool.
I mean, I've seen nothing, so I'm following your lead on this.
Well,
I feel like you need to be in the middle.
they are the critics' favourite. And I would say, not year after year, but ever since there's been yet another resurgence for this brand off the back of really obscure models like the Crash, which has crashed into popular culture. It's on Tyler, the Creator's wrist. It's on Kanye's wrist. It's become the it watch for the celebrity billionaire. So there's that side of it, as well as just really great campaigns around the Panthera, around the Tank. They've really, once again, become sort of primary.
There is something about the crash, but we can divert.
Take that offline.
Yeah.
What's the new stuff? What's the fun stuff?
Okay.
What's been your highlight?
Can you wrap it up outside, please?
Brushed platinum.
Yep. So let's just keep walking, and then we'll just wrap it up. Outside.
Yeah.
So let's go over a walk.
We've captured that bit that we captured out there was fun.
That's fine.
Can you wrap it up outside, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
What's the issue?
Yeah.
We just can't allow you to film, but you can walk around.
But we're press. We're press. We're properly
we're not
press.
Public day.
Yeah, I know, but every brand, every.
That's fine. Let's just go.
Okay, well.
So let's just keep going. Come on.
Yeah.
Just so
Okay.
Cartier's pretty.
Just so you know, Cartier's pushing us out.
Well, Cartier wouldn't be. The security guy is.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a headline: getting kicked out of Cartier.
Can we say something about that?
This is not going to be Cartier's fault.
No, okay, no, but the people inside Cartier will be mortified.
Yeah.
The security was overzealous with us.
All right, so we have come back outside. We have had our asses handed to us, as someone in the team said, by Cartier, but it isn't by the brand. It was by the
Overzealous
just
security.
someone didn't get laid last night and wanted to take it out on us three. Neither did I, actually. I want to talk about this watch. Let's get back to watches. This has the most mysterious and beautiful fume dial. It's a green fume dial. It's a Santos de Cartier, but the way they achieve this super lush, mysterious fume is they start with a black base coat and then apply the green over the top, which does create this really, it's not a galvanic, it's not a sunray. What do you think, George? As a dial man, do you look at that and kind of go,
Yeah, but my biggest problem is I don't care for the watch.
you don't like the Santos de Cartier?
I'm sorry to say, I love some of the other Cartiers, and there is one dial that you did not talk about.
Okay.
This wonderful layer dial with the gold and the white or the platinum dial. There was this checkered effect, and I can't remember what the dial.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
for me, that was a knockout. This. I'm like, it looks like a blue dial or a black dial.
The dial on its own, I think it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's a very subdued green. It's a
Yes,
very
it is.
decent, but the watch on its own, I'm kind of with George. There's other things that
No,
make me excited.
and I'm sorry to say, I think Cartier rocks, and they've got some amazing watches. But this, just for me, was a bit like.
The reason I look down is actually because some people buy a watch like a Royal Oak or a Nautilus or a Santos de Cartier with a mirror polished bezel, and then get very nervous when they enter the world of actual things, of actual things that you could knock.
Beat the hell out of your watch.
I have seen
enjoy
some
your
beaten
watch.
up Santos de Cartiers, and they look sexy in
No.
the same way that beaten up Royal Oak does too. So
I-
you've got to just get used to the fact
No,
that
but
that's going to be messed
also,
up.
I like it more in this colour.
Yes.
Okay.
With a leather strap. Now, for me, that's more exciting.
But for me, that highlights the design of the case,
Yeah.
the head of the watch. This,
Yeah.
I feel like there's too much metal going on. There isn't enough of a contrast.
And they did a while ago. They did a beautiful claret colour,
Yeah.
and that was stunning as well. And these are the things where I even look at the regular Tank. That Tank is a really cool shape. You're talking about Tank Normal. For me, yeah, I like it, but the regular Tank is great. Anyway.
Okay, well look, George, I think we should go back and finish what these guys over here started. So our sleeves are already rolled up. I've never seen George so angry. I've never seen his chest so pumped up. I think we're going to go back and finish this thing. And we should do it with a soundtrack. So Marcus, can you put a soundtrack underneath this, like Sabotage by the Beastie Boys or something?
A few inches later.
Okay, so we are walking out of the press lounge with Nicola here, and for legal reasons we can't show Nicola's face, but Nicola, raise your right hand if this is not a hostage situation. Okay, this is a voluntary situation. But Nicola has a story to tell. Nicola, what's happening right now? Because it's a little weird.
So I'm from Cartier, and I was sitting outside the Cartier booth with Cartier security, just catching up. And I said, have you had any journalists come in today that you've had to kick out? And he said, funnily enough, we had 3 journalists standing on the bridge that we had to kick out earlier. And I said, oh God, what 3 journalists might that be? And we realized it was my favorite watch podcast, genuine favorite watch podcast. About
I've quizzed her on
Effing
that, by the way, and it's legit.
So I was like, oh no, I think you kicked out my favorite podcast. And he said, oh, sorry about that. I'm sure we can get them back in. And so we went to chat to security, and now you guys are welcome back into the booth.
Thank you.
Cool, thank you very much.
Have a great time, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is cool. We're back in.
Look down here. Look down the side. There's little lily ponds.
Look at all of this pieces of art. This is such a beautiful stand. Oh my goodness, look at who is here.
This is Amandine, who was a micro celebrity and a micro influencer. Amandine, where did we meet? Do you remember where we first met?
Oh, at the Omegan's watch.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Things got a little bit crazy, didn't they?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, things got a little bit intense there, but we had each other and we got through it, didn't we?
Yeah, it's in my bag.
The one you got that day?
Yeah.
Amazing. What's your favorite Cartier this year?
Oh, I like the American Tank.
Yeah, see, I agree with that. I think it is such a great watch.
Which one would you choose out of these?
I think this one.
Oh, okay. So that's like
Yeah.
rose gold. Do you like diamonds?
Yeah, I love diamonds.
Amandine, you rock. Thank you so
totally.
much.
Good one.
Guys, we've got to get out of Cartier.
We do, I know.
But this time we can walk out perfectly. And this is where Cartier has been so wonderful. We feel so happy where before I was like, oh, I feel aggressive. Now I feel loved. This feels so nice. It is a smile, it is a hug. And that's where the show kind of has this juxtaposition. There is something that changes. And God, this feels nice. And look at how stylish this is. Hi, look.